The alleged mastermind behind the break-in at the Chief Justice's office hands himself in. Police make more arrests in connection with the Johannesburg taxi rapes. A very happy Friday to you. You're watching eNews Direct. I'm Duduzile Ramela.
Hi, I'm Kate McCoy.
To comment on any of our stories, you can find us on Twitter and Facebook. That's at eNews Direct.
You can also track our main stories using the following hashtags: Chief Justice robbery and World TB Day.
The alleged mastermind of the break-in at the Chief Justice's office is in police custody. Nkosinathi Msimango reported to the Boschkop police station in Pretoria earlier today. 15 computers were stolen from the office's Human Resources Department last Saturday. 2 other suspects arrested earlier this week were not charged in connection with the theft. Police have still not recovered the computers. Well, more arrests have been made following a police hunt for suspects linked to a spate of taxi rapes in Johannesburg. A mother was recently raped at gunpoint by a group of men for 4 hours. Her 10-year-old son was with her and witnessed the entire incident. Several other women have now come forward with similar stories. Some of them say they received no assistance from the police. The Gauteng MEC for Community Safety says the suspects arrested today will be subjected to an ID parade.
There were 3 people that were arrested this morning through the information that we received from some guys that were arrested last month, who are also linked to several criminal activities. We are now waiting for the ID parade to be organized and them appearing in court on sometime next week.
A firefighter and a civilian are being treated for injuries sustained in a warehouse fire in the south of Durban. The blaze broke out near the harbour earlier today. It's unclear what started the fire. However, officials say candle wax may be fueling the flames. All employees at the warehouse have been evacuated. More than 100 firefighters were on the scene earlier. They're hoping that light rain falling on the area will contain the flames. Authorities also closed several roads due to heavy smoke. It's World Tuberculosis Day. TB has been the leading cause of death in South Africa for several years. Health Minister Aaron Motsoaledi is calling on people to prioritize screening for the disease.
Tuberculosis is still South Africa's biggest killer. In 2015, it caused the deaths of more than 33,000 South Africans. This man was diagnosed in November.
Ngaqala ngikhohlela for about 2 weeks ngiswetha mara bengicabanga ukuthi yiyo.
Life has not been easy for him. His mother passed away in December, forcing him to do odd jobs to support his sister and her child.
Bekunenkinga endlini sister. So kumele ngisize like nami ngibe like ubhuti omdala ngisize lapho nalapho. So isikhathi sokuphuza amapilisi bengisikhohle. For 2 weeks nga defaulter. Ngayeka i-medication and then ngathi mangibuyela bekungasese i-TB. Bose kuyi MDR.
Multi-drug resistant tuberculosis does not respond to the usual TB medication. This young man has been receiving treatment at the Sizwe Tropical Disease Hospital in Johannesburg since the beginning of the month, and he says he's starting to regain strength. On Friday, the health department, in partnership with the Japanese government, launched a new drug to fight TB. It's called Delamanid, and the 28-year-old is one of the trial patients. This box of 672 tablets is part of his 18-month treatment. The health minister says patients who don't commit to treatment pose a problem.
So when you are on treatment, you have got to finish the course and take it every day. If you don't do that, you are likely to get drug-resistant TB.
The drug will be distributed to 400 MDR patients across 4 provinces before the official rollout. On this World TB Day, the minister is also urging all South Africans to prioritize screening for TB. Zikhona Chona, Johannesburg.
Well, authorities and NGOs in Cape Town have taken a unique approach to raising awareness about TB. They are taking to the trains to inform commuters about the benefits of preventative measures and early testing. The city's trains are known for overcrowding. It's the perfect breeding ground for the disease.
So that people can have more information about TB and what TB is about. I'm sure everybody knows what TB is.
Boarding trains to educate commuters about the dangers of TB, one of the top 3 killer diseases in the country.
What is it that the person is feeling for the person to go to check that, do I have a TB or not?
Many people who are in these kind of crowded conditions in public transport are then going to be exposed to TB. So that's why it's important, again, for people to cover their cough, open windows, but also to make sure that anyone with TB symptoms goes to the clinic to be investigated for TB and started on TB treatment.
South Africa is one of the countries with the highest levels of TB. Hausler says strides have been made through early testing and screening, but he says currently only a fraction of patients with TB are cured.
The World Health Organization has estimated that there are 454,000 new cases of TB every year, but only 300,000 started on treatment. So there's a missing 154,000 patients who are out there with TB who haven't been diagnosed and started on treatment.
Despite TB being curable, it's still highly stigmatized. It's with initiatives like these that this organization hopes to raise awareness so that those who are infected don't end up being statistics. Bongat Lwane, Cape Town.
Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan is stamping his authority on his relationship with Tom Moyane. Last month, the SARS commissioner confirmed that his relationship with Gordhan is strained. Moyane suggested that President Jacob Zuma intervene. Gordhan has now responded, saying Moyane answers to him.
This was Tom Moyane's description of relations between himself and Pravin Gordhan.
That question of the minister failing to shake my hand should be raised with him. I have no problem with him. Because I find it very strange that in meetings he treats me as if I'm a non-entity. Shouts and screams, and therefore there is a need for the minister to treat me with a collegial manner and with respect.
The finance minister has now responded to the SARS commissioner's request for President Jacob Zuma to intervene in their worsening relationship. He was speaking to journalists on the sidelines of a business gathering in Johannesburg on Friday.
There's no need for anybody to intervene. Mr. Moyane is the accounting officer, and like any other accounting officer is responsible to a minister, and he must be responsible to a minister. That's the end of the story.
In just days, Gordhan will appear in North Gauteng High Court. He's filed an application asking the court to rule that he cannot intervene in the closure of Gupta accounts by the country's major banks. A memorandum said to be from the Hawks was circulated on Thursday, claiming that the finance minister took millions of rand from a special pension fund at the Department of Defence and Military Veterans. Gordhan won't be drawn on the matter.
Have you been contacted by the Office of the Hawks
No.
in relation to some special pension funds?
No, and they're perpetrating lies at the moment, but we'll leave it at that. My lawyers will deal with that.
It's since emerged that document is fake. The finance minister's Gupta case will be heard on Tuesday. Olim Gambi, Johannesburg.
The Road Traffic Management Corporation says it won't let eNatus collapse. The electronic system is used to administer drivers and vehicle licenses, as well as vehicle registrations and traffic infringements. Telkom has shut down telephone lines to Tasima, the company managing the system, due to lack of payment. The RTMC was in the North Gauteng High Court earlier in a bid to force Tasima to hand over the system, following a constitutional court order. However, the matter was postponed. RTMC says there will be numerous problems if they don't get control of the system.
The public will not be in the position to renew their vehicles. The public will not be in the position to apply for driver's licenses and also the learner's licenses. You can also imagine we have 12 million drivers on our road. They will not be in the position to be validated. And we have 11 million vehicles. It therefore means that people will not be in the position to renew. But this problem is much more bigger for the vehicles that are traveling outside the borders of South Africa. Will also not be in the position to validate the ownership thereto and whether the vehicle is stolen or not.
Carl Scumbi's family say they are relieved after 2 men were found guilty of his murder. Brent Henry and Nyanya Jacobs brutally assaulted Scumbi in 2015 after he left the Tiger nightclub in Cape Town. Scumbi later died in hospital.
Judge Robert Henney says the state presented overwhelming evidence against the accused. He says even if both accused testified, they would not have been able to convince the court that the actions did not lead to Scumbi's death. The judge believes Henry and Jacobs intended to murder Scumbi while they were beating him up. Scumbi suffered brutal head injuries that doctors say are usually seen in people killed in car accidents. Henry and Jacobs followed and attacked 27-year-old Scumbi and his friend after they left the Tiger nightclub. The two then assaulted him, repeatedly kicking him against his head and upper body. Scumbi's brother says the family is relieved the case is finally wrapped up.
Extremely happy with the outcome. I was never in doubt about how strong our case was. I mean, the prosecution put a lot into it and we're really grateful for that. Sometimes people were questioning about how strong the defense is. I had no doubt that we're going to come out on top at the end.
Henry and Jacobs have been remanded in custody. The matter's been postponed to the 18th of April for sentencing procedures. Zulfa Khan, Cape Town.
Egypt's former president Hosni Mubarak has walked free for the first time after 6 years in custody. Mubarak faced charges of killing protesters in the 2011 uprising that ended his 30-year rule. The 88-year-old has been acquitted on the final murder charge. He was arrested 2 months after leaving office in April 2011. Mubarak's lawyer says he's back home in the Egyptian city of Heliopolis, where the main presidential palace is located. Well, Western Cape Premier Helen Zille will tomorrow know her fate when she appears before the DA's Federal Law Commission. It's set to determine whether she should face a disciplinary hearing over her tweet that colonialism was not all bad. She's been slammed by people in and outside her party. And the state believes it has a strong case against one of the OR Tambo International heist suspects. 2 men appeared in the Kempton Park Magistrates Court this morning. However, prosecutors were forced to provisionally withdraw charges against the second suspect. The remaining man faces robbery charges. He will join 5 other suspects when they make a joint court appearance next week. A gentle reminder, if you've missed any of the stories we're tracking for you tonight, you can of course find us on Twitter and Facebook. That's at eNews Direct. Or you can head on over to our website. That's enca.com/direct. Your business news and your weekend weather forecast after this. Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan says the SAA board appears to know how to fix the parastatal. Gordhan says the airline will soon need a bailout to help stabilize it, although he's holding out hope that parastatals will stop relying on the fiscus.
We do have a new policy framework on SOEs or SOCs that was agreed by Cabinet in the latter part of last year. And our intent is very clear. We want good governance, we want accountability, we want good financial management, and we want any reliance that anybody envisages on the fiscus for the well-being of the institution to be something of the past in time. So that's the intent. How we get there is going to be, I think, a tougher proposition.
Let's see how the markets closed today. Here's Joel Guy with all your weather details.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Weather Center. We have here on the latest satellite picture this cold front that has been pushing a lot of rain-bearing clouds into the south coast and much of the Eastern Cape, giving us isolated to scattered rainfall over these parts of South Africa. Now it's going to stay rainy tonight across the Eastern Cape, with scattered rainfall still possible along the coastal areas. Over the eastern sections we had isolated to scattered thunderstorms throughout Friday, and the storms across KwaZulu-Natal could continue for much of your Friday night. We stayed with mostly clear skies across the western sections. Now Saturday is going to be rainy and stormy across much of eastern South Africa, including parts of the Eastern Cape. Mostly sunny skies, however, for the western areas, and we are going to see afternoon temperatures warming up a touch across the Western Cape. So KwaZulu-Natal is going to be cloudy and pretty wet for your Saturday, with temperatures in the upper teens for the interior and highs in the lower 20s are expected over the coastal areas. Drizzle and light rain is forecast for parts of the Eastern Cape. Highs will stay in the lower 20s across the coastal areas, and we're expecting temperatures over the interior to start recovering. It's going to be warmer across the Western Cape, with mostly sunny skies in most areas. A bit of cloud, however, along the south coast. Cape Town warming to around 25 degrees. Clear blue skies are forecast across the Northern Cape, a high of 30 for Upington, but mild temperatures are forecast over the southern parts of the province. Isolated thunderstorms are forecast for the eastern areas of the Free State. Bloemfontein should get away with partly cloudy skies, warming to 26 degrees. We could also see passing showers for the easternmost parts of the northwest, a high of 31 for Rustenburg, the same for Mahikeng. Rain and thunderstorms are forecast across the Limpopo province, Polokwane warming to a mild 23 degrees. It's also going to be mild for Mbombela, with cloud and rainy conditions for your Saturday. Thunderstorms are forecast across the Highveld areas. It's also going to be stormy on Saturday for Gauteng, Pretoria warming to around 28 degrees. On Sunday we stay with thunderstorms over northeastern South Africa. Light rain is forecast around Richards Bay. It's going to be mostly sunny for the southwestern sections. Then a pretty quiet Monday is forecast across the whole country.
Thank you, Joel. After the break, virtual reality technology is used to design improved spacecraft for the future. Virtual reality has become a major feature in gaming and entertainment.
Engineers in the United States are now using augmented reality headsets to build new spacecraft.
Saving time and increasing accuracy, augmented and virtual reality technology is being used to better design spacecraft of the future. Global security and aerospace company Lockheed Martin is seeing the results. Here, technicians wear a special headset that uses cameras and depth and motion sensors to overlay images. It all takes place in a virtual reality facility called The Cave.
It recognizes hand gestures, so as I click, it can see that I'm clicking. It knows what I'm clicking on. There's a cursor in the middle of my view. And after I do that, I can also walk around the model.
The Microsoft HoloLens is making 3D design a much faster process.
The ability to put all the information that a technician has to reference in building a satellite or a spacecraft or the other products that we build here, the ability for them to have that information available in the HoloLens and guide them through the instructions of putting together a product is going to have a tremendous advantage.
The technology is being applied on a variety of spacecraft, including detailed virtual reality examinations of the next Mars lander ahead of its 2018 mission.
A reminder of your top stories before we say goodbye. A man suspected to be behind the break-in at the Chief Justice's office hands himself in. Police make more arrests in connection with the Johannesburg taxi rapes. And that's a wrap from the eNews Direct team.
Your favorite drama, Rhythm City, is coming up next.
We do love to hear from you. You can send us an email to enewsdirect@etv.co.za.
Or share to us via Twitter and Facebook. We're at eNews Direct.
Until Monday night, have a fantastic weekend. Bye-bye.